Hello, friends. So today I'm going to talk about basic troubleshooting. And this is very important while you are working with Linux servers. And I'm considering, the Linux system for the moment. But yeah, different depends on the different systems. Troubleshooting might be changed. But I'm just sharing, how we are going to do the basic troubleshooting and why it's very important. So um, why I'm creating this video because as a SIM engineer, sometimes so many problems occur, like log collection issues occur. That is the point number one I mentioned. So log collection issue happen because of connectivity loosed, because of network failure, or maybe at source level. So I'm collecting logs from suppose Windows systems, and there are Wind agents, and those agents are sending logs towards my SIM server. So consider those agents are uninstalled. Definitely, I will not get logs, right? That means it depends on what kind of settings at client end. So if audit trail disabled, definitely I will not get logs at my SIM server. So so that may be this is maybe problem sometimes we are not getting logs. So that at that time troubleshooting is needed. A couple of checks we have to do. Second problem that is server not reachable. So sometimes it happen. We are getting some services from some server, and that server is not reachable. So there are a couple of reasons. Server might be down, maybe there is outage, there is some change, so pre-plan change, but you are not aware. So definitely, if you want to aware, definitely upgrade the system or update the system process. So next time if they are having some change, they will inform you in advance, and you will get to know, okay, there is a pre-plan change. So yeah, that you have to take care of. Then the last reason, it rarely happen, but yeah, might be compromised. So if server is compromised, and yeah, then definitely maybe server is not reachable, or maybe services are down by the hackers. Then third, on service unavailable, that I mentioned already. Compromise, if server is compromised, might be services unavailable, right? So service unavailable because of so many reasons. Server is compromised, or we are at point number three, service might be blocked. So consider your organization having app locker, or maybe antivirus is not allowing your service. It happens sometimes. You upgraded your service, and your antivirus maybe you know treat this particular as a not normal, so it will lock. It might happen. Okay, so might be service get hung. So if service get hung, definitely you will not get a response. Okay. The service get hung because of couple of reasons. Might be that server resources heavily utilized, like CPU, utilized very much. There are so many services running, so you have to increase your CPU cores, or maybe your storage is about to full. That's why server. So many reasons associated with that. But yeah, server get hung, so definitely you will not get services. Then server fourth point, server client communication broken accidentally. So it happens sometimes because we are you know having big network, and if there is change in network, or maybe some happen, they are upgrading some network peripheral devices, it happens. Maybe there is a some outage. So we have to check that one, if there is some change in network, and or maybe if there is going on some change, definitely due to that, service is broken for that moment. And if this this communication is broken for a longer time, definitely you have to contact maybe firewall admin, network admin, toward justify what is the problem, and just note down in the incident what happened actually. Then the point number fifth, application logs not coming. So consider there is one server, and where we deployed our app, and our app is considered just providing some services, like banking app providing some services, or food app providing some foods to client, and consider uh, that app dumping logs. Those logs are important because I want to create some statistics or doing some analytics after that, because after the log analysis, I identify the people like non-vegetarian than veg items. Then maybe I will focus on more non-veg items on my, food website. So, accordingly, so based on statistics, we can take our decisions, or we can do the business analytics. So where application logs are important. So if application logs are not coming, so what might be the problem? So maybe um, uh, developer change something in the process, or they dump logs in different location, or developer um, might not push that particular log module, or they disable logs. We don't know. So we have to analyze that also. Okay. And this last 6 point, network issues. So why sometimes, we contact network admins and we ask, okay guys, have you done anything? And they say, oh, we haven't did anything. So maybe they haven't did anything, but what happened, they change cable from one port to another port. And when I say one port to another port, consider there is a switch, and switch having 24 port. I'm just giving one example, 24. So out of 24 ports, there are 12 ports are in VLAN 10, and remaining 12 ports are in VLAN 20. So consider by mistake, cable is plugged out from VLAN 10 and put into VLAN 20, definitely that host will not communicate unless and until there is inter VLAN communication. So there, the network is okay, but that small mistake create problem for you. So you have to know, what is the VLAN. Your server is belongs to which VLAN, or which VRF, like that. So these are the minute details I can say like that. Apart from that, firewall policies. If firewall policies are updated, and they blocked communication on a particular service, might be your communication lost, like due to that also. So what next? So in all cases, if you have access to all device logs, maybe you can troubleshoot easily. If you have SIM access, SIEM access, you can easily troubleshoot by going through the logs. But if you don't know, if you're not SOC engineer or maybe SOC analyst, then what we can, basic steps we can do. And here I'm considering people don't have access to all logs. They can do the basic troubleshooting. And what kind of basic troubleshooting? Because everybody should know what is the problem, because they want to quickly solve that issue. Then how we can do that? The first one is, definitely whenever we are got problem, we try to find and contact asset owner. How to find that? We are having some asset database like BMC Remedy, or we are having ServiceNow or whatnot, where we can keep our asset inventory and the asset owner, and we can easily contact them. So after contacting asset owner, we can ask the basic questions. And what kind of basic questions or what kind of basic troubleshooting we can do? I will give you a little bit idea. So consider, before our contacting to the asset owner, we can do one thing that I can see easily, everybody knows. We can check whether the server is reachable or not by using ping command. So for that, I already have some, I'm having two systems with me. So you can see I'm having one my Kali box, and I'm having my another box, that is okay, another VM, that is Metasploit 2. Okay, so just I'm logging to my Kali box, and it's just I have to know IP address of this system, because I'm considering this is my target system. So you can see at this side, MSS admin, okay, you can see this one, root Metasploit. So this is my server and this is my client, okay? So from Kali, I'm going to ping this server. So before that, to ping, I need IP address. So I'm just typing IPADDR, and I got IP address over here. So if I know IP address, what I will do, maybe I will note down this one IP address over here. I will just split this one vertically. I will note down 192.168.137.1. 137.1. 128. Okay, just I'm noting down this IP, so we need not to worry about the server. So you can see I capture IP from here. So now I will focus on my client. So this is the IP address, and now I will ping. Okay, to this ping 192.168.137.128, and you can see server is reachable. So you can see 3 packet transmitted, 3 packet received, 0 packet lost. And you can see this is RTT round trip time we are having over here. So that means server is reachable. So consider this is again not 100%, because if sometimes we are doing ping command, but ping is not giving response, that doesn't mean server is not reachable, because sometimes at server level, ICMP is blocked. Ping command uses ICMP. Okay. ICMP in the background. So whenever you are doing ping as a command, it creates ICMP packets, ICMP request basically. So it creates ICMP packets, ICMP request, and it will send towards server. If server is reachable and server accept ICMP request, what it will do? It will give the response to the client, and then we will get the response. That is ICMP. Uh, we are getting the response from the server, and then we can then we get to know that server is reachable. So the same thing I can explain it here. 3 packet transmitted from client to server, and we got acknowledgement from server for 3. So there is a 0 packet lost. Okay. Yeah, RTT is what? The time required from reaching from client to server and server to client. So round trip time. Okay. So this is reachable. But again, I explained you, sometimes ICMP is blocked at server side. So maybe you will not get response. Why? Because maybe there is an attack also happen, ping of death. Okay. So I can do I can draft the packets and I can send towards server. So server become, unavailable on that particular uh, time. So I will bombard server with the ping of death. So if I do that, server will unavailable. Okay. So that's why sometimes at server level, ICMP is blocked and ping is will not work. In that case, we can use another maybe a telnet also. So consider we know our service is running on a particular port. So consider we know that on this server, my service is running on a particular port. So what I will do is I will do telnet 192.168.137.128. Sorry, what happened? I think okay. And then I will do again 192.168.137.128, and consider my service is running on 80 port. Okay, so I will just go 80 and I will check. So you can see that means 80 port is open at my server. So at least port is open. Okay, so because sometimes what happen, by mistake service is disabled, so we cannot reach to that particular, because each and every service is running on a particular port. Okay, and if you know my service is running on a particular port, you can check use the telnet. Okay, and this telnet is very important. Why? Because most of the time, so I will give you one scenario where actually we use telnet. So consider I will just give in MS Paint. So consider there is a one server. Okay, this is a server, and this is my client. Okay, so just I'm drawing here client. Okay, client 1, and this is my SIM server. Okay, SIEM. Okay, SIM server. So consider I'm sending logs from this client to this SIM server. So what we are getting logs, and logs, when I say logs, this we are pushing logs for the moment. So we are using syslog protocol from sending logs from client 1 to SIM, and SIM is listening on a particular port. So that port might be, consider we are listening on 514 port. Okay, so consider this port is not listening. That means even if we are sending logs, the packet will be dropped over here, or logs will be dropped here. So first thing we have to check whether this 514 is open. We can check from both ends. So consider I will show you at both ends how to check that. So if you have access to this server box, or maybe you can contact to admin, you can ask him whether that port is open. So if you that admin will check. How he will check? He will use netstat command. Netstat hyphen. Okay, and we can grape it because we don't. I'm not interested in all ports. I'm interested in 514. So you can see netstat hyphen a just to identify. If you don't know any command, just do the man netstat and just read afterwards what actually the switches I used. Okay, so netstat hyphen a and lp grape 514. So we are listening on 514. So that means server is listening on 514. So this is I did at server side. So server 514 port is open. But consider if you want to check from your end, that is client end. So what I will do is I will just minimize and I will go to my client box. So that is my Kali, and I will do the same telnet. Instead of 80, I will use 514. So you can see connection closed by foreign host. So we're trying to reach 514, but its connection closed. So might be we will try another port that's actually open. Let's see. I already checked another portal, so 80, right? So let me check 80. Sorry. Grape 80. Okay. 90 we did. So 80 also we are listening. Then 8009 8180. Okay. So let's check 80. So yeah, it's open. So basically, you see, in first output 514, it shows connection closed by foreign host. So again, I can say we cannot 100% sure whether that port is open. Why? Because you can see over here, 514 is listening on server, but we are getting, connection closed. So connection is refused. But in next case, 80, we are getting, so connection. That means port is open. So I can say again, it depends, whether we rely on this 100%. So another thing we can do also while troubleshooting, we can use telnet. That's the first thing. Ping, I already mentioned you. Then sometimes server is reachable and port is also open. And client is saying we are sending logs towards you, but uh, you know, Stream is not showing us anything in dashboard. So what we can do for that? So in that case, maybe we can use TCP dump. So how we can use TCP dump? Like TCP dump is a command. Basically, we can monitor. Let's see. So I will go to server here. I will check TCP dump. TCP dump. I can put source. So I can do the man command also. Man TCP dump. Okay. So you can see TCP dump is dumping traffic on network. So what I will do is I will monitor for particular source IP, that is my client, and maybe I will monitor on a particular port, okay, or a particular interface also. So there are so many switches we're having, but if you know the particular switch, you can directly go ahead and you can use those ports. So I will show you a couple of things. So if you go here in TCP dump, so there are so many switches we're having, and we're having some examples also. Okay, so you can see SRC, host, okay, then Ethernet. Then what I will do is now I will listen on a particular port. So how I can do that? Let me show you directly. So I will do TCP dump, SRC. I will use my IP address, but in this time, what I need to do is I need to use IP address of this Kali box. An IP address of Kali box is, I'm just noting down so I can easily type here. So it's 192.168.56.103. And all my these virtual boxes, little bit, in the close netting and internal network. So those are not in bridge mode at all. So those are not exposed to the public. And I will recommend whenever you are doing practicals, always try to use internal network and netting. Don't expose to the internet. Basically, don't use bridge, mode unnecessary if not required. So let's go here, TCP dump SRC, and I will go give 192.168 dot 56.103, and you can listen on a particular port, or you can just go through this one. So you can use multiple options also, or yeah, you can give multiple or VVV like that. 1 minute, I will show you. So now we are listening. So if there is a packet coming from 192.168.56.103, we will get some a trace over here. So let's minimize this one. And I will do some ping again to that system. Telnet also we can do. We are having ping also we already did for this one. Yes, and then we will go to this box. Okay, not yet captured. Let me check what happened. Sorry, actually, I got call from my friend, so I disconnected. So I think we stopped where actually TCP dump, how we can check, So TCP dump, we can check whether logs are reaching from the client towards our particular port. So client is stating that we are sending logs to a particular port. So we have to check whether logs are coming from that server. So the one thing, so at this site, we are having servers, so we can do one thing, that we can listen on particular port or particular host by using TCP dump command. So first what I will do is that I will show whether TCP dump or basically interface is still getting something. So TCP dump -I and ETH0. I am listening now, and from my client just I will do some maybe ping command, or maybe let's see. So you can see I'm getting packets over here. So just I will stop here. So see, we're getting some traffic over here from the client. So I don't want to monitor all logs here. So just I want to monitor on a particular port. So to monitor on a particular port, you have to specify port number. So to define that, what you have to do, just you can do TCP dump, and maybe you can do maybe, yeah, just -I and port 80. So I'm just listening on 80 port number. Next to go to the client, and if I go to telnet, and if I do for 80, because I know this 80 is open, and if I do okay for 80, now you can see I'm getting here packets. So that means 80. So we are sending something. So definitely, guys, you can see here packets are receiving. So something is problem. Logs are coming. Maybe logs are not passed properly. There are a couple of other issues also. But at least we confirm that logs are coming. Okay. So this is a basic troubleshooting by using TCP dump. Yeah, again, for this one, definitely at server side steps, TCP dump may be performed by asset owner, and you can just help him to send some packets or using telnet from your end. So I hope this is helpful. Then netstat I already explained you to check what are the ports open at server side. You can just ask him to perform netstat command and grep on a particular service port, and you can identify. So consider my service is running on 80 ports, so I can ask the admin just to perform netstat hyphen, just I mentioned some switches hyphen NLP and grep on 80 port number, and give me the report. What is the output of this? Then Nmap basically not used by us. Normally, Nmap is used by the vulnerability management team to check what ports are open, what ports are closed, and identify the vulnerabilities, for the service. But yeah, Nmap is a tool that you should know, where we can use Nmap for passive or active probing and to check what kind of services are running. So Nmap is definitely not allowed, but you should know this command, and you should explore what is the use of Nmap. If you're having private network, you can use Nmap command to identify what is operating system on destination, mm, what are the ports open at destination server, like that. So some extra checks. So let me discuss further. So consider your server is decommissioned. Also, that might be the reason you are not able to reach. So some extra checks you have to do by using some asset inventory, like server is decommissioned or not, then server is upgraded, and if after upgradation of server might be there is some changes, and that's why you are not able to reach to the server. So might be you have to check. And the basic thing is, consider your infrastructure is scale up, and maybe old IP given to new server. But what happened, as I mentioned your new server is attached to a different VLAN, and that is the problem. I will explain you maybe in practical. Let's see how this how this is problematic if VLAN got changed. And the last point is firewall blocking the communication. So if firewall is blocked, the communication, definitely you will not able to communicate. And normally firewall between the different networks. So yeah, you have to check if you are part of same network or different networks, and whether firewall sits between these two different networks. So if you are having SIM access, you can check through the logs. Otherwise, you have to just check with the firewall admin. So as I mentioned, how this VLAN, because I stress on this point, I think multiple times, how this VLAN really creates problem. This is problem that sometimes as a system owner we don't know, or maybe we don't know because we never know what is the structure of the network. So maybe I will show you something. Let me I have some VLAN over here, or configured in packet tracer. So just give me a sec. I will just search, and then maybe I will start from there itself. 1 minute. Okay, so what how the VLAN create problems. So consider this is one topology I have created. So consider we are having two switches. Okay, so switch A, switch B, and we are having two VLANs. So this above part yellow is VLAN 2, and the below part is VLAN 3. So consider what happened. This server is basically old. So what happened? We created, we onboard a new server. Okay, so we onboard new server, and we want to decommission this one. So what we did is we decommission this one, and we attach new cable to this port. So you can see if I hover on this one, you can see different VLAN ports. So by default, switch having VLAN 1. So I have created my own VLAN 2 and 3. So consider we are going to connect now this new system to fast Ethernet 0 by 24. So you can see if I show you, so you can see the first column, you can see fast Ethernet 0 by 23, 24. So both are in VLAN 1. So I will use 24, that is VLAN 1, and I will connect this PC0. Okay, so you can see now PC1 and PC3 are communicating. How I can show you? I can, if I drop my packet from this to this, so you can see successful communication. Or maybe I can check the IP address. So 10.3 and 10.1. So I will ping it. So what I will do is I will go to desktop terminal or command prompt, and I will just ping 192.168.10.3. So see, it's reachable. So what we did is we are going to decommission this server. So decommission is what? Nothing but we are just removing this server. So we decommission this server, and we connected new server over here. So whenever we connect new server and we use 24, and you remember we decommission the server. That server belongs to VLAN 2 because this is VLAN 2. So remember, we decommission server. That server is part of VLAN 2, and the IP address I already have here 192.168.10.3. So after decommission, I use the same IP address because I don't want to give the another IP address. So I will go to the configuration, I will give the IP address, and now the IP address is same, only the new server is new, and I will try to communicate once again. How I can do that? I will send the packet from this PC to this PC. And you can see here, it's failed. Why? There is a reason, because by mistake, this cable from fast Ethernet 0 by 7 is attached to another port, that is this a network admin attached that cable to fast Ethernet 0 by 24. And this is by mistake. I can say human mistake can happen. And what I will do is now, if I ask to the network admin, what is the problem? They will say, oh, everything is okay. The cable is attached and everything is done. But the main thing is what? We need to ask the relevant question. What is the VLAN, of that switch where this server is connected? So if I ask this question, he will rectify, okay, the problem is, if I ping here from here, once again, I will ping here. And you can see now, initially we are communicating, but for the moment, ping is not working, request timeout. So that indicate server is not reachable. So what we can do is we ask a couple of questions and then we realize maybe VLAN problem. So I ask network admin, guys, maybe you connected cable in wrong VLAN. So VLAN port. So I connected this now V0 by 7. So let's see V0 by 7 to this. And now I will do the same. Once again, I will send packet from here to here. Let me, because it's not up, I think, let me do one, because first is a communication between them. Again, it's failed. So let me check VLAN 0 by 7 port. Oh, 0 by 7. Oh, sorry. 0 by 7 in VLAN 2. And this is 0 by 7, 0 by 4 present in VLAN 2. So they should communicate. Let me ping first. No, not yet communicating. Just let me troubleshoot what's the problem. So as I mentioned, our new server with the same IP address, we connected to the wrong port, that's 0 by 24, and not able to communicate. Why? Because 0 by 24 not in VLAN 2. So you can see VLAN, if I hover to the switch 24 port showing VLAN 1. So that's why it's not communicating. So what we did is we changed the cable. We just asked the guy, change the cable to the VLAN 2. So he inserted that cable to 0 by 7. So now, and then we will check whether the packet is reachable or not. See, it's reachable, right? I will show once again, maybe just I will drop from here. And if I just select 24 and then again here, so by mistake, he connected to the, instead of 0 by 7, he connected to the 0 by fast Ethernet 0 by 24, which is not part of VLAN 2. And then I will save this. Okay, I will save and then I will just try to forward the packet. So you can see failed. Again, I will send. It will fail. Again, I can use the ping command also from here. So you can see if I use ping command, because I know already IP address 192.168.10.3. So see, we are not able to reach. Now, why this happened? Because he inserted cable at wrong port. So the solution is very simple. We have to ask which VLAN actually a server is connected to. So, and then you can ask him, oh, my VLAN may be different one, and you can connect to that. Then what we did is we asked to change cable to the correct port. So what I will do is I will just remove this cable and I will just ask him to remove from 0 by 24 to 0 by 7, or maybe change VLAN of this 0 by 24. It's possible. You can use the commands and you can change the port VLAN. So I will use simplest method. Instead of changing VLAN of that particular port, just I will just connect to the 0 by 7. So I will just take cable. I will connect to the 0 by 7. I will connect to the PC. Already IP is assigned 10.3 to this new server. I will save this and I will send the packet once again. So maybe I can ping also. Zero by 3. So this port is still not up and running. So now it's up and running. It's showing the amber kernel. So maybe it's not up. That's why it's showing the problem. Now you can see successful. Even if you can ping, now we will get the response. Okay, so I hope this is clarify now why I'm talking about VLAN, VLAN not properly assigned. So yes, thank you so much, guys. I hope this video helpful for you. Basic troubleshooting. Maybe I will cover maybe afterwards how to troubleshoot maybe cloud endpoints like that. But for the moment, this is you have to know about if your server is not reachable, what relevant questions you should ask, and where to look at. So thank you so much, guys. If you like this one, just please subscribe and yes, share with your friends. Thank you. See you in next video.